Welcome to the best sports show on planet Earth. Sports in 60 minutes, brought to you by Arrival Studios. I'm Femi. I'm excited to have you join us today. There's a lot to share, including the updates from the Nigerian Super Eagles. Now, we all know their qualifiers in September. How well will the new man in charge be going about this? This transfer news, also the Paralympic Games, and not forgetting tennis. We'll squeeze a little out of all those details. I'll do this with my two great guys, right? I've got Francisca and Nwobodo right here today. She's excited, she's optimistic, and everything seems good for her.
Optimistic?
And I just felt that you were so excited when I told you the news
I'm just
about
excited.
Nigeria Super Eagles.
It's nothing. Anyways, it's good to be in the studio today.
Oh, my goodness. It can't be this way. Yeah,
but that's what it is.
When I talk about someone who's had a meal today, all right? So all the problems he's got are solved. It's no one else but Princewill Oviesan. Princewill, today has got to be a good day because there's too many good stories going around.
Great to be here, if you say so, but I'm not that too happy with what's actually going around at the Super Eagles camp.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? I'm surrounded by people who want to get me out of the studio.
No, you don't need to be out of the studio.
All right. But let's go for a break. They'll share their thoughts about the new man in charge of the national team and other details. All right, so welcome back. Well, this is Sports in 60 Minutes right here on Arrival Studios. I've got the guys. There are loads of stories coming out from the Nigerian sports scene. And the biggest update so far we've gotten is the national team manager. Now, the Nigerian Football Federation confirmed a couple of days ago that Bruno Labbadia will take charge of the national team with immediate effect. And there's been so much excitement coming out ahead of the September qualifiers. Everyone is enjoying the German tactician, previously Tinker Stuttgart. Right, so he's got the job. Reactions are coming out. Let's start off with Princewill. This has to cheer you up.
Femi, I'm not cheered up.
Oh, come on. Are you guys this difficult to please?
I'm not cheered up. We've been expecting the manager for the Super Eagles for quite some time after Femi George left the saddle. But this is not the way I expected the NFF to actually throw the news at us. For once, we're talking about pedigree. What is the pedigree of Bruno Labbadia, or what did you just call him? For me, we're looking at two difficult situations. The Nations Cup qualifier, the World Cup qualifier. And you're bringing somebody who... What is it bringing to bear on the Super Eagles? What is the impact it's going to bring to bear? What is the magic it's going to perform?
Are you asking the question?
Yeah, because we're all surprised.
You're not excited about this.
I'm not excited. In fact, the surprise element, if it was 1st of April, I'll call this April Fool.
What, Francisca, do you agree with him, or are you in my side of the divide?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the excitement going around. Children dancing on the streets, parents excited, schools on holiday. Yes.
Well, for me, whether
I don't know
or
where you're
not,
getting that news from, Femi.
whether or not you're excited, I just want to, be there. I'm not optimistic. That's for me. I'm not expecting anything, because I was telling some people that I just hope this is not dead on arrival, because I don't know how you want to manage this situation. It's just someone who Nigerians should just know and know peace. He's not the Messiah as we speak currently, because you and I, we don't even know what the contract he signed for. Is it to qualify us for Nations Cup, or take us to Nations Cup, or qualify us for World Cup?
Don't even go to the World Cup.
These are the questions that I feel I want to ask, and I also want to know. And only recently we saw list. How did you come about the list? The NFF, it means the NFF, brought out the list, because if you say you've appointed a manager, is in Nigeria now as we speak currently.
How will he get? Nigeria.
Excuse me?
He doesn't need to be in Nigeria.
Excuse me?
He doesn't need. Yes, I'm saying
like,
it because.
Seriously?
No, I'm saying this because the last manager.
The national coaching job is more difficult than club
the last manager of.
Are you aware?
The last manager of South Korea, right, Jürgen Klinsmann, before he was replaced, when he went for the Asian Games this year, he lived in the US.
Femi.
We have two different nomenclature, two different countries. We have a peculiar situation right in here, Femi. That's the simple truth.
I believe that football is a universal language.
Agree.
It's spoken everywhere.
Agree.
And it's the same thing. So let's just give...
You coach your national
team. Are you aware that he said he doesn't even know these players?
No, I'm aware he knows the players. There's no way he doesn't know, because he coached Wolfsburg. Victor Osimhen played in Wolfsburg.
How will he communicate with
coach was Hertha Berlin. If you remember clearly very well, we also had African Nigerians. Ademola Lookman played for RB Leipzig while he was coaching. We know that Victor Boniface played in and so he's got knowledge of these players.
that you saw them doesn't mean you have knowledge of these players, because you need to relate to them.
You have to relate.
And we're going to discuss a lot more about it now, because it seems as though we're already at the divide.
Obviously.
And Princewill, I've never seen you this way. You're already on the normal. You're
He's
always
on my part today, and I just decided to be very calm, and
I remember when our
today.
producer said, "Look, he went to schools. Children were happy. They were begging for holidays. They went to the ministry in Alausa.
I beg to differ.
They were begging for holidays.
I beg to differ.
Because
they went to the stadium. The stadium was shut because
we've been expecting a manager of some kind of high
a manager, a Messiah manager.
And that's what this guy is.
Oh my good God.
What do you mean?
This man lacks
He has
pedigree.
coached Hertha Berlin.
Sacked.
He has coached Stuttgart.
Sacked.
He has coached Wolfsburg.
Sacked. In the last 3 years, he's been
other
sacked.
pedigree?
And then
Which
do you
other
know where he has
pedigree?
played for? He played for Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, yes. He even won a trophy. Fine CV. But as a coach, he has not been successful.
For me, I'm not even worried with the pedigree or anything. For me,
it does.
My worry is this.
What had he won before he came to Nigeria?
Clemens Westerhoff era is quite different from
It's
what we
different
have
from
right now.
what we have
Apples and
right now.
oranges.
Yes,
No,
it's
different
quite
scenario.
different.
Different
But
scenario.
my worry,
What has Finidi won before he came to coach Super Eagles?
The Npfl trophy. Aha!
Enyimba International.
Yes,
the
the
last time I
trophy.
checked. So if you don't know,
just ask me.
just like I said, my worry is this. I don't know if Nigerians are expecting anything. I'm sorry,
I'm
please.
expecting.
Please do not expect.
I'm expecting
because
qualification for the
he's
nations.
not the
In which of the
Messiah.
World Cup qualifies?
He's not the
all
Messiah.
these
And
nations?
I just hope, and I also hope this is not going to be a situation
You're not kidding me.
you hire and you fire. Because we don't even know what you have signed.
Francisca, you know what?
Are you saying that
you know
you
what?
will qualify us for Nations Cup?
Francisca
for
and
World
Princewill.
Cup?
You know
Because
what?
I need to know. But we need to know.
We'll have a full segment for this because already, since
Okay.
as though we're already at a divide. Let's read through a few more stories. Victor
Okay.
Osimhen is also in the news.
Okay.
Not only is he back in the national team, which is also great news because
Not
we
great
put
news
behind
for
us
me.
all
Not great news for me.
Francisca, do you like to live in the
No,
past?
it's not a case of living in the past. Did you know the last thing he did?
What did he do?
You didn't know the
It was
shenanigans.
in the
So
past.
so this means that we encourage,
If you ever
all
watch,
of those kind of things.
Francisca, if you ever watch Lion King, now the old Lion King, not the new one about to come out, the old Lion King said, you let your past stay at your back. You don't put your past in your front. I think that was the word for Simba, from Mufasa to Simba. Learn from Mufasa. Victor Osimhen,
So you are encouraging.
I'm saying that,
you
look, we
encouraged
put
what
behind
he
Allah.
did.
I want him
So
to
the
move.
former Super Eagles
I want him
coach.
to move.
Has he officially apologized to
hasn't.
Finidi George?
And
He
I'm
has.
wondering,
Publicly or within the kitchen?
within the
Privately, he
kitchen.
has.
Why
But
privately?
they are two adults.
But he came
But the
out on
outburst,
social media.
the outburst was in the social media.
You know today. I don't
it's
know.
quite sad.
I don't know how. I
Anyways,
don't know. I don't know what my producer is doing today.
No,
But what
it's
I
a
understand
fact.
is I'm here to talk about Osimhen moving. And if I've been attacking you on Osimhen, let by God, that's the past. We're talking about the present. Osimhen
What
is
this
moving
Princewill, do you
to
know what
Al
this
Ahly
just
or
means? It
Chelsea.
means that anybody can come rant on social media to
And go
the
scot-free.
coach and go scot-free. No discipline,
freedom
nothing.
freedom of expression.
Agreed. Let's talk
That's
about
the
his moving. We know that the transfer window in England is either shut down today or tomorrow. Tomorrow. And the way the Braha is going...
Friday. Let's
say Friday.
The way the Braha is going, I don't see Osimhen leaving Napoli. Because Lukaku should switch. As we speak right now, nothing concrete.
Lukaku has gone. Lukaku has gone.
But for him, his demand for his wages is on the high side.
So Al Ahly are also interested in Saudi Arabia. Al Ahly of Saudi Arabia. They brought in an offer which he would earn about 5 billion
Annually,
monthly.
Naira.
No, obviously it's not in naira. They converted it to naira.
5 billion naira.
that's huge.
You just want to scare me.
Yes, no.
5 billion naira.
Yes.
Monthly.
And he doesn't want to
5 billion.
accept that offer, considering the how he finds himself
No,
right
but
now.
because he wants to play in Europe.
Very good for him, but the
But
current circumstances does not allow
the
it.
top clubs in Europe cannot afford to sign him at this time.
You know, that's what my question
Because of
is.
the PSR for the
No,
finished year
Femi.
pulled
My
out.
question is this. For a player who did so much, so well for Napoli, and he's asking for this, you don't want to sign him. Which means you don't believe in his...
They're not saying that. So what they're saying is that, one, his wages are expensive, right? Osimhen is asking for about 500 if he's going to go to England. Now remember, because he's going to pay 50% for taxes.
Yes.
Means he's only going home with 250. That's
Yes.
one. Number two, Osimhen's injury history also scares clubs because you want a top striker who will be available for at least 90% of your games. If your top striker is usually injured and plays as much as maybe 65, you're not convinced. right? And then 3, and most importantly, that transfer figure that he has to move it, because it's still a lot of money.
Who brought in the transfer figure? The club did.
Yes. No, but Osimhen signed a new deal. And my point is that if you sign a new deal, an extension, and I'm paying you lots of money, I want to make money from you. I want to put you on the show glass and I want to sell you for good money.
It's quite a crossroad.
But the coach says it's not part of my plan.
Because Osimhen already, before the coach said so, had said he wants to leave, has submitted a transfer request.
That's true.
So automatically the love in the board feels, okay, you told Conte you're not available. You cannot make a U-turn now. Because they're going to go and buy Lukaku. Lukaku comes in cheaper. Lukaku comes in with a different
really
profile.
It's a crossroad. It's a crossroad.
But let's see what the outcome would be. We also do know that Tammy Abraham of AS Roma, he's of Nigerian descent, by the way, could possibly switch to AC Milan from Roma. What do you make of this?
Where they have the likes of Morata.
Oh, yes.
You know, sometimes I just tell players that you have to watch, you know, the way and manner in which you move, especially when you are moving to a club that where you are needed is still almost the same position. Now, the big question is you want a playing time, because I want to believe that every player wants a playing time in as much as the player is fit and ready to play. But now you come into AC Milan, would you get that playing time that you are requesting for? For me, I don't just know.
You know my advice?
I don't just know.
You know my advice? I'm going to call him his full name, Tammy Abraham. Should just take it gently and go back to England.
I think you get quite a number of options in England if he goes. The question majorly will be, will he get the best of the pick? Because I do think that a club like maybe West Ham would have been interested in his services, but they've already gone for Nicholas Fulcrum.
Yeah.
Fulham, but they've already discovered Muniz. So I think his options are really limited. Spurs have signed, what's the name from the guy from Bournemouth, right? Dominic Solanke. So maybe he's, and they've replaced him with Van Nielsen from FC Porto. So it's a very, very tricky thing. But
it's a tricky one.
But a good one for him going to AC Milan. They're a traditional club. We wish him the best of luck. Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United before the end of the window. That's brilliant.
It's a good one. Manchester United need a very sparkling player. Mind you, the issue of Jordan Sancho is right in there, and they need somebody who can actually bring some sparkle. Haven't watched them twice this season. I don't think they're really out in there. But with such a signing coming in, it will give them some few breath of air to move forward and meet up with good teams right there in the EPL.
All right, let's pick out one more story from the news going through. England's golden generation, well, so far among their coach, Sven-Göran Eriksson, led them to the 2002 World Cup, the 2004 Euros, and the 2006 World Cup. Was also very key for Lazio back in the day. As a matter of fact, that was when I first remembered his name come up. The likes of Nedved, Nesta, Hernan Crespo was a killer squad.
Crespo,
that Lazio team, and they went all the way to win the UEFA Cup under his tutelage. Man City's revolution started with him, for those who don't know, by the way. Under attacking Shinawatra. And then there was also Mexico as part of his CV of illustrious teams and clubs. 75 years old, passed away this week following complications after suffering cancer or being diagnosed with cancer. We can only say may the Almighty grant him eternal rest. And there was a part in his book where he mentioned the national team, the Super Eagles. But when he applied for the job, that tells you how well everyone wants this job. It's like his hot cake.
That was then.
What do you mean it's then? That would mean it's then. Top people say apply for this job
the
now.
brand is no longer what it used to be.
Have Renard
didn't apply for the job. We wanted him.
We wanted him. He never applied.
Are you sure?
Yes.
We wanted him.
We wanted him.
And he's looked at the brand and say, you know, all this going on, I can't come and be part of this. Don't spoil or dent my reputation that I have.
Just want to make this thing.
And they just came out to us. NFF just came out and said, NFF just came out to us and said, you know what, we don't have the amount of money, we can't pay him. But trust me, they can pay him.
They cannot pay him
if they want to.
How can they pay him? When
they can pay him
people that
if they want to. If they want him.
Francisca, people that owed Raw. I remember Raw did a brilliant job. He was German too, by the way. Remember? You guys remember? It was Franco German.
You know how Raw came into the national team. You know how Raw came to the national team.
He's actually ready for the Super Eagles because we are going to be playing against them. You know.
So it's a German versus German affair.
German versus German affair.
According to Paul, a tactician.
All right, so let's see what these games will bring for us in September. There's quite a lot of details to go through, including the US Open. Now, the games are still on. the champions from the women's angle, Coco got Eastern in the tournament. As you say, it's a victory lap, but everyone is looking at what Novak Djokovic would do if he would break the record set by Margaret Court and win his title number 25. In his way is what was notable rival, that's Carlos Alcaraz. Let's see how all the story turned out. We'll bring you all the updates. Let's time for another break. When we come back, we've got quite a touch, including stories coming through from the Super Eagles. We'll get experts share their reactions following the appointment by the Nigerian Football Federation. All right, welcome back to the show. At this point, well, there's all the conversation around the national team manager, Bruno Labbadia. We've got reacting a guild member of the sports guild members in Nigeria. We've also got an editor of the Vanguard newspaper, Tony Ubani, sharing his thoughts about this appointment and what to look forward to once the reign of Labbadia starts in Nigeria. Take a listen.
Okay, thank you so much. And finally, we have gotten a coach in Bruno Labbadia. I think he came to us as a surprise. Nobody expected, or nobody ever mentioned his name, throughout the period that we were all speculating, mentioning names of those who could possibly, coach the Super Eagles. And the Nigerian Football Federation came out as a surprise, very, very big surprise, because very early in the morning, they mentioned, they just threw it up, that they have gotten a coach in Bruno Labbadia. And Labbadia, as everybody had said, has no experience about the national team. He has never coached a national team before. And but he has a very rich credential, at club levels. And of course, even during his playing days, he was, one who was very prolific as a striker, and of course played for very, very big clubs in his time. He's welcome to Nigeria, but he's just coming, very, very limited time, very short time for him, to begin to apply his techniques, his tactics, and every other thing that he would definitely use to turn the Super Eagles around. But then Nigerians are very, very thirsty for success because with what is happening in Nigeria, economy and everything put together, I think that sports, especially football, will be the remedy, things that can turn things around and bring so much joy to so many Nigerians. That's why almost everybody is talking about the quality of a coach, that we need. Talk about quality. We expected a world-class coach, but then if you say world-class coach, has there been any world-class coach that Nigeria employed in the past? I think they have to start from somewhere, and that's exactly what Bruno Labbadia will do. And you're also talking about expectations against Genetro on September 7. That to me is also very early, very, very early, because the coach, as we speak, has not yet touched ground in Nigeria. He has not arrived yet. And then we are playing a game on September 7 against his fellow countryman, Genetro. Genetro is also from Germany. He said that he knows him very well, from Munich. And ordinarily, it was or it's going to be a game of two Germans. Germans, we all know their tactics. They are very, very strong and mobile and have very, very, very defensive approach to football. And especially with Labbadia, that was a striker, a known striker, a prolific one, when he played in his days. I think he's really going to concentrate on attackers. And talk of attackers, we have attackers in Victor Osimhen, we have attackers in Victor Boniface. And one thing that will really go for him is the fact that, Nigeria is blessed with so many talents. So that will be a guide to him. And if you also see, after playing Genetro on September 7, we're also going to play Rwanda. And of course, in all this, you see that the Germans are taking over African football. There is a German coach in Labbadia in Nigeria, Genetro, a former coach of the Super Eagles in Benin Republic, and Stickler, also a German that is handling Rwanda. So the Germans, out of the 4 teams in that group, will be facing themselves. And I expect that Labbadia will not do so much, but then he has people that will guide him, especially the technical director, Augustine Eguavoy. Perhaps that's the person that rolled out the team list that we have seen. I think it will be a very gradual thing, before he gets to do everything normal and, of course, fall into place. Is he capable of betting a new golden generation of Super Eagles? Yes, I said yes, that he's very, very capable. But the most important thing to me is not just about him. It's about administration. It's about those who govern us, our soccer governing body, the Nigeria Football Federation. If they really want this man to succeed, they must brace up. How good a coach is administratively, you have to sit up. If they sit up and do not do their magic, what most of the things they do, trying to enforce players, trying to do backhand things, and pay him as at when due, and give him a very healthy condition of environment for him to work, I think that the young man will succeed. And it's time that Nigeria take over African football. For me, Labbadia or Gabadia or Nabalea, however they call him, he is welcome, and we expect that he will do well and bring us up to speed, with the rest of the world.
So, I hope with those few words of his, you guys are convinced and not confused any further. Why are you smiling and laughing?
Are you actually you're talking to Francisca?
The last part of the video, I heard him say Labbadia, Labbadia.
Well, it's a new name for us.
The name is Labbadia, Bruno Labbadia. That's the name.
For me, let's give him a chance. But this is not what we actually expected.
What did you expect?
See, quite true, we don't have the finances. We just got to be honest with ourselves. But the transparency of actually selecting a coach via a process is completely maroon. Overnight, you just give us a name.
So let's even agree that your situations were different. Can we get a coach better than Labbadia?
Well, yes, we can.
Like who?
We can.
Like who?
Ask for people to submit their CV.
Who? People we asked the first time.
We should people submit their CV.
The people who submitted their CVs they were still journeymen.
They were still journeymen.
Yes.
So Labbadia is not a journeyman.
He's not. He's only coached in Germany.
Okay.
So that means he's got ample knowledge of the German Bundesliga.
We'll get there.
Well, the touch point for me is where he talked about administration. And I will really want to agree with him. Point in case, we've seen teams, like, take for instance, what's it called? Edo State. They've been very, particular with the sport. And we can see the output of all of those things. Only recently, the Edo Queens, won the Waffle championship in their own category. And it tells you that when you...
For insurance, did not win the league.
Come on, but we saw how Benden Insurance to an extent, how they did in the just concluded in the last season's Nigerian Professional Football League. All I'm trying to say here is that I just picked that administrative talk he talked about, and I feel this is just the right time for what's his name, the NFF president Ibrahim Guzo, perhaps maybe ask questions, because from the look of things, it could look like, of course, you've got technocrats, technocrats
Why
around
didn't he consult those technocrats before he appointed Labbadia?
Because a lot of Nigerians do not watch the Bundesliga. If you watch the Bundesliga,
I do,
and you are very few, because I've seen him in the Bundesliga, right, and I've covered games he's been on, and I've seen the sort of admirable work he does. He believes in the 4-3-3 system. He wants his wingers to be wingers, crossing the balls to the box a lot. And we've got strikers who can benefit from that.
I don't have any problem with that.
And I think his pressing is also good.
I don't have any problem with that.
So what's your problem?
If you go back to the antecedent of what the Super Eagles has passed through, we've not had good results. And somebody wouldn't just come and start taking us as a PE master and say he's a coach.
But even if we bring Pep Guardiola, he would turn the result around overnight.
But at least we know something good will come out.
But I feel even a Pep will not come. a Jose Mourinho will not come. Let's take away the money aspect or any other thing.
Our culture,
the pedigree these coaches also have, and in case they've looked at it, you know, Nigeria, the Super Eagles, it's not the Super Eagles that you and I used to know before. Perhaps the days of JJ Okocha, Amunike, Samson Siasia, and the likes. Perhaps these coaches want to come. But with this recent,
we've got a sports administrator with us today. Godwin Enakhena. He's also a broadcast journalist, veteran broadcast journalist of many years. He's covered the Super Eagles a lot of times. And with this story coming through, Godwin, it's good to have you join us. What's your reaction to the appointment of Bruno Labbadia as the coach of the national team?
The story of Bruno Labbadia reminds me of Clemens Vesterhoff. I'm sure you remember how he came from Holland without having a national team experience. I really don't understand this national team experience. We all started from somewhere, and today we all know that Clement Vesterhoff is the most successful coach Nigeria ever had. What happened? A certain Sylvester Williams, may God rest his soul, was the chairman of the National Sports Commission, and he decided to get a coach that fits our philosophy, football philosophy. And he went to Holland, got a man who didn't have so much experience, but knew what to do in terms of the kind of country, the kind of players he wanted to work with. He came to Nigeria, we all know the story. Then, Clement Vesterhoff also gave us a Johannes Bonferre, who won us the first Olympic medal in football. In fact, not just Nigeria, in Africa. Bruno Labbadia does not have national team experience, but he's got a lot of experience when it comes to managing players week in, week out. In fact, on a daily basis, he's working with players. I like the German philosophy. I'll give Bruno Labbadia the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how he pans out at the end of the day. If he fails, you all know that Nigeria would have failed.
I'm going to ask you about if you could speak to a member of the NFF at this point, what do you think would be the target of Bruno Labbadia in terms of the Super Eagles?
On the issue of target, if I were the Nigerian Football Federation, he has to go to the Nations Cup to win it. If he doesn't win it, he falls short of it, and the performance of the team is good, we will keep him. That's what I will say. I have a problem with quarterfinal, semi-final targets. I will never say the quarterfinal, semi-final target for my team. We're talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Nigeria is not Benin Republic. Nigeria is not Sierra Leone. We are not Sao Tome and Principe. This is Nigeria. So let's set big targets. Some will say target that are reasonable or realizable, as it were. Nigeria can win the Nations Cup. After all, we got to the second round. After all, we got to the final the last time out, which means we can win it. So, Bruno Labbadia, my target for you is to go and win Nigeria the Nations Cup, and I know you can do it.
As someone who's covered the Nigerian League as a journalist, as someone who's been an administrator in the Nigerian League, would you feel that there should be more attention paid to the Npfl by the new manager in terms of getting players for the national team?
Honestly, I think we should be very intentional about this. I've heard over time, I remember the last Minister of Sport, Sunday Dare, there was at the time he said the national team should have a minimum of 3 players from the domestic scene. The NFF also echoed that under the former NFF president, that's Amaju Pinnick. But we've not done anything about it. When General came to this country, he traveled everywhere. He was watching league matches. At the end of the day, he rolls out his team list. There's no player from the domestic scene. Also, Pesero also did not pretend. We saw what happened. A young man left Bender Insurance for Tanzania, and he started making the national team of Nigeria. We have quality in our domestic league. That much I can tell you because I'm involved and I follow the league. What we must do is to tell Bruno Labbadia, please, at least 2-3 players from the domestic scene should be on your team list. That's how it's done all over the world. They talk about homegrown talent. Why is our own different? I think we should do that. The time to do it is now. Finidi was stopgap coach. That's the way I want to describe him. And he took about 4 home-based players into the national team of Nigeria. So what are we talking about? We have players in this country that can make the national team. The earlier we did this, the better for the league. If not, a lot of players now believe that not until they go to Benin Republic, they don't stand a chance of playing in the national team of Nigeria. We must change that tide. We must change this narrative as quickly as possible.
Okay, so I was going to raise a concern about the national team list that has been released, and there's been loads of questions around the inclusion of Victor Osimhen, and not for the transfer story situation. Nigerians are asking the question about what was the outcome following his last outbursts with the previous manager and then his inclusion. What was done by the Nigerian Football Federation?
A friend of mine who is a retired FIFA referee once said to me, it is not an offense to be in an offside position. The offense is what you do when you are there. So, Victor Osimhen is a human being that is prone to making mistakes like you and I. He has made a mistake. Everyone knows that he made that mistake. The Minister of Sport knows that he made that mistake, and he said that much. But, hey, what is important is not a mistake. How do you restitute for that mistake that you made? If I were in Victor Osimhen's shoes, I would have apologized a long time ago. What he said, what he did, I could or may have done that. But what I would have done differently would have been to apologize very quickly, because I have made a mistake. To have Osimhen on the list of the national team to play Benin Republic and Rwanda, I still can't, I can't fathom why that had to happen. It's a bad precedent that we have laid. When the young man has not apologized, some people are saying, do you know if he has apologized to Firidi George or the NFF? He did it in the open, so if he's going to apologize, that apology should be in the open. That is my take on Victor Osimhen.
All right, so let's say a big thank you to Godwin Enakhena for coming through, sharing his thoughts. He's certainly got the experience, covered the national team, Super Eagles, and also the domestic league. So I wish the national team the best of luck, and also Nigerian football starts this weekend. We're wishing all the teams who would feature in this season's Npfl the very best of luck. Big thanks to you, Godwin, for coming through, joining us on the show today.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so there we have it. At least I had to get someone on my
In fact, he made my day.
No, he made my day.
He made my day.
He made my day.
On what premise?
Now, he said that, number one, we need to be optimistic about the new manager.
Okay.
No, that's not where I'm coming from.
That's where I'm coming from.
I'm coming from Victor Osimhen's
Victor
angle.
Osimhen, he made my day. I now give him thumbs up. He said he shouldn't
You know,
have
they were
anywhere
gremlins. You know, they were
come
gremlins.
down.
Yes, they were, but
They were
I
gremlins because those
I
gremlins.
But you heard when
No, I
he
didn't
said
hear him.
he shouldn't have, he shouldn't
Okay.
have
I didn't hear him.
anywhere near the Nigerian Football
Look at
Federation
the
or the
expressions on
Super
Femi's
Eagles.
face.
And
You didn't
what
hear
this
him.
means is that it shows our level of standard and
I
how
will
we
not-
have placed ourselves.
Francisca,
For someone, he
Francisca,
mentioned it.
I
The
will
fact
sit
that
down-
the
I will sit down
outburst
quiet
came out
in this period.
publicly.
I'll sit down quiet in this period.
Even if you have,
Yes.
even if you apologized, you also need to come out
You
publicly
let the past
and
stay in the
apologize.
past.
Well,
When
that's-
you were creating
that's
the
it.
past on the social media, ranting, you didn't know where to take it to.
I don't understand you people.
Are you aware that
I don't understand this
some of the shenanigans Victor Osimhen actually display on that social media
It's
is part
part
of the
of-
undoing the funds
Exactly.
passing through? Mind you,
Absolutely.
you're a standard, you're an ambassador. People look up to you. There are certain actions you take which could become very, very inimical. They play back after some
You know, you
time.
people like to speak grammar. We that did not go to school.
I hear you.
What we are telling you now is that
Yes.
in terms of, there's been stories of a code of conduct for the national team. Do you ascribe to that?
I do, absolutely. I can say vividly that the initial time when that particular move was made, some couple of 10 years back, Olise was an advocate of that particular code of conduct. Most players didn't really buy the idea. They didn't really buy the idea, but you find out that it was actually brought to bear so that players could behave in a particular manner when it comes to coming to the national team. Nobody's teleguiding you, but there are ways you're expected to behave. And if that code of conduct was actually put in place, the ranting Osimhen did when he went on social media wouldn't have actually occurred, and he would have actually understood the gravity of what he was doing at that particular point in time.
So at this point, we've got to go for a break right now, right? There'll be more to share, including the Npfl, which begins this weekend, and the major European leagues. All right, so this is the last part of the show. Quite insightful, all we've shared. And if you miss out on any of this, you can just, rewind and then go through all the thoughts concerning the national football team and also Nigerian football generally. I'm talking about Nigerian football. We've got the Npfl starting this weekend. Now, I don't know the chemistry behind this, but I know the first game will be between champions, Rangers, and El Kanemi Warriors, champions from the Federation Cup. They say it's some form of charity shield, but the points gathered from this game will be registered on the league.
Obviously. quite exciting to note that the league will be coming up. A lot of people who know me with the league keep asking, are you sure the league will come up 31st? You know, we're used to this tradition of fixing the date, we move it, but this time around, assertive.
It's sacrosanct. That's
Yes,
the word
assertive. Just a couple of days ago, the Npfl had a seminar kind of to educate the CSO and the chairmen of supporters club to put them in the proper perspective of what should be expected of them. But of note is that all clubs are ready to go, even if there were rumors that money was shared, which the chairman of the Npfl said nothing of such. But the exciting part of the
money was shared. What do you mean my money was shared?
That was
listen, when you start the story, finish it.
There was this rumor that each club.
Are you a rumor monger?
No.
So why are you carrying rumor?
Yeah,
did you dig deep?
It went viral.
Did you dig deep?
I did.
And what did you find out?
I found out that no money was shared.
So who are the rumor mongers?
Our guys, some of our guys who feel like.
But I know they said we're going to give the clubs 20 million this season.
It has not been given.
Oh, so it has not. It was promised to be given.
Yes.
Because I know that the indemnities for the referees has been increased by 50%.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Right. The only last thing that concerns the three of us here now is that they are playing this game in a place Francisca knows very well, Enugu.
And mind you, I'm a staunch fan of Enugu Rangers. That's my number one team. Yeah, she knows.
Francisca, how about you?
Yes, I am. I don't know what you're talking about. You want everyone to know that.
So my team in the Npfl, they're in NNL, so I cannot be worried.
Sporting
let's go, Sporting, let's go.
I have been an Enugu Rangers fan for over 20 years. That's my number one team.
I can't be that see. So for me, every time once there's a Lagos team, that's my number one team.
No.
City hasn't bought my heart yet.
What about MFM?
Toby Samuel is right in there.
They were my team when they were there.
Toby Samuel is right in there.
When Julius Berger were enlisting, when Stephen Stars came back, they were my team. Whatever a Lagos team has, I don't care who else.
No.
It was that, but I lived in Ibadan. Stylishly, I was still supporting the Lagos team. When I go to the stadium, I'm like, Upsu team. But meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, MFM score. MFM score. And Lagos team, I live in Ibadan, but I kept saying that Lagos team cannot relegate. So I will not be watching Npfl. I live in Ibadan. I always watch Shooting Stars. But I kept saying, we're not going to watch Npfl. No, we're not grill. We must watch Npfl. I'm a bit disappointed though. Only one game this weekend. And I'm like, and then you're saying Cotton Razor. Cotton Razor should be a separate match in a neutral venue. Because this venue no favor El Kanemi Warriors.
Our culture.
But that's what it is. That's Nigeria. You just need to accept us for who we are.
So you know you can say this thing from your mouth, Francisca. And you're busy going against me. So move your chair closer to me. Move it closer.
Because it has actually gotten to that level that I just realized that, sometimes the system, you can't just fight the system.
Yeah.
All you need to do is to just follow through, even though one or two times you have to criticize the system, but critique the system. But this is what it is, and it is in front of us, so we just need to follow. It's going to be great. Enugu Rangers against El Kanemi Warriors. I was pretty disappointed with their performance in their CAF Confederations preliminary game. I wasn't expecting it.
It was coming.
I didn't expect it to be.
I didn't expect
it
the way and manner they played the FA Cup finals against was it Abia Warriors or thereabouts?
Yeah, the challenge was the venue. So originally they tried to play in Kano, so that wasn't approved. Took over to Abuja. Abuja wasn't approved. They had to play the game in Ikene. And I know we can start another conversation about the stadium in Nigeria because CAF says only Uyo Stadium is good for us, right? But generally, I'm a bit worried because I feel that once again, you're playing the game in the home of the champions. If it's going to be a community shield or a cotton razor, it should be played in a neutral venue. So and the best neutral venue
is Uyo
or Lagos.
Not that one. Okay, Lagos.
Lagos because of the fans, not because you're going. Lagos, you're going to get the fans to show up and watch that sort of game. But I want to get your predictions, guys. I'm predicting a victory for Rangers. I think the level of competition they have played and the grounds. Remember, they won't do a lot of traveling. They're playing at home. Already played the Champions League in Uyo. Uyo is not far from their home, but this one will travel from Borno down. So what's your prediction? My prediction is a victory, right? I think I'm going to go for 2-0 in favor of Rangers.
One thing is certain that both teams will score. Enugu will.
So
go. That's what it is. Well, but eventually, Enugu Rangers, just like you mentioned, will take the
so
day.
2-1, 4-1, 9-1, 21.
2-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
2-0. We're getting the 3 points.
All right, okay, so we all agree on that. Let's go to Europe very quickly as we move down to the end of the show. Match day 3, Premier League game comes alive. Man United against Liverpool, Super Sunday. That's the biggest game coming through.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys to don't analyze. We know who everybody assigned. Prediction. And Francisca, you are doing Francisca. It's not as if you want to stay on the fence. Because you want to stay on the fence. There's no fence. So Man United lost their last game. Liverpool have not lost again. And Liverpool have not conceded a goal so far this season. 2 clean sheets from the manager. United have scored in their first 2 games. Where does this one go?
Still with Liverpool for me. Liverpool.
Is Old Trafford we're playing this game?
I don't care.
Well, I just have a change of mind just now, some few seconds ago. Manchester United. Yes.
I'm actually predicting a draw for both of these.
Yes, I just have a change of mind just now. Manchester United. No.
How do you just all of a sudden change your mind?
I look into my crystal ball.
Yes.
I just look into my
your crystal ball.
Yes.
That's them around.
And I just find out that
we don't have crystal balls. So
I have a crystal ball, man.
I don't have. I don't
That's
know
what
what
man.
people are talking
That's
about.
how I agreed with him immediately once I said he changed his mind. So
It's two gentlemen.
I'm going for a draw.
I'm going for a win.
I'm going for a win for
2-1.
Liverpool.
Mine for Manchester United.
Okay.
All right, so that's
For me, Liverpool.
so
2-1.
everyone Rangers. Win for you for United. Win for Liverpool. Draw
Yes.
for me.
Yeah.
Arsenal Brighton.
Come off it.
Oh
Arsenal.
my God.
Arsenal,
right.
upright win.
Arsenal, I agree too.
That would be a tough one.
Can't be a tough
No, I don't
one.
think so.
Arsenal are playing at the Emirates.
I don't think so. With the form that team is right now.
Even with Brighton too.
No, last season.
No,
You
but
know,
Brighton are in
they
form.
are Brighton. Like
No,
they are the Brighton.
last season they were brighter. They were brighter.
Brightening.
They dimmed the lights.
I feel that in the game against Manchester United, if ZZ did not put his leg, United would have been 2-1 up.
Yeah.
But the pressure we saw,
I
the
agree.
performance
I'm
and
just saying that
everything from the players
United
and
could have scored
the
2-1.
team.
I don't think Arsenal play like Manchester. I think they play better than Manchester United.
Very, very far
So I
better.
think that Arsenal will punish Brighton. This will be the first defeat for Hosler.
Well, I go for a draw this time around.
I go for an upright win.
There's no need to predict West Ham against Man City now. I don't know why my producer put this here, but
Pep all the way.
I don't know why my producer put
But
this
there
here,
could just be a spring of surprise.
is that what you are predicting? Don't come and be giving us.
Of course, you know, anytime, any day
So we're going
is
for
Pep
City.
Guardiola.
A change of heart.
You're going for West Ham.
The first defeat of the season.
Wow. All right.
For City,
Yeah.
I think it's
possible.
going to be a slim victory though, because
A
I
slim
think
victory.
Lopetegui, yeah, but I think slim victory.
But I see West Ham holding their own right in the a victory for West Ham.
All right. There's no point predicting the game. Okay, there's no point for Serie A. Okay, let's go to Serie A. Juve Roma.
tough one.
Juve haven't lost, by the way.
Yeah.
New manager Thiago Motta, he's won his games, right? 2 of them he's won it already. Roma has still got their manager from last season, and both of them played football at the same time. Remember Thiago Motta and what's his name, Daniel De Rossi. So what do you predict? They're already selling Tammy Abraham, like you confirmed. So Juve Roma. I'm going for Juventus.
Juve, I'm going for Juventus.
I will stick with Roma this time around.
Bundesliga, Leverkusen versus Leipzig. Probably straight up, Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, because the last game I watched them play showed character. And this season, I think they're transforming what they had last season into this particular season.
There's a level of consistency.
I'm going for Leverkusen.
All right, okay, so the guys have spoken, and you know who to hold if your predictions don't go right.
Of course, obviously, mine will not go wrong.
Has any of your prediction ever gone right?
I'm on the spot.
Absolutely.
Which one?
Oh, go
You told
ask
us-
them.
you
I'm
told us-
superstar.
No, you told us that the Falcon and the Tigers will win medal.
Yes!
I think I have forgotten.
Thanks for reminding me.
I forgotten.
Yes.
I never said
go
they
for
will
You said
Sports.
they'll win medal.
I never said they will win. Let me correct myself.
Okay, they'll go
on the
fast.
screen.
They'll go
fast.
I said I can bank on them more.
They'll go far.
And this prediction was made in the initials of the Olympics.
They'll go
I
far.
said I will bank my money on the Tigers more than Super Falcons. And in the 2 games they showed class. Going into the quarterfinals or the semifinals, something happened. But
I think
then
that was
again,
exactly what she said, if I recall it vividly.
that's what it is. So
I'm with her.
I've never gone wrong. It's right that I was telling some couple of people that the NFF, appointments of coach will come in the middle of the night. and you just wake up, boom, you will see it.
You said that?
Yes, I did.
I think I need to
And that
consult
was-
you. I have an
and
issue.
that was what happened. Don't worry, after the show,
After
I'll
the
go on
show.
my chat and you will see the
No,
conversation.
no. I need to consult you. There's an issue I want to consult you on.
This collab, you guys have gone back to do this collab again. I'm just going to get up at this point and walk away while the ovation is still loudest. I must say a big thank you as well for you watching. There'll be more content coming through from us as we build up to the qualifiers for the African Cup of Nations. We'll be sharing all our thoughts concerning the national team and transfer stories once they're completed at this weekend. Big thanks to Princewill Oviesan for coming through.
It's a pleasure.
We've changed his mood all of a sudden.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
uppity.
yeah.
And also Francisca Nwobodo. She's always a pleasure to be here, right? Okay, I'm speaking for you. But she's always happy
Of
when
course,
she's here.
yes.
There's no time she can't stay. That her day is not bright. She knows, even she will affirm it to you. And as much I
I
must
really
say,
don't understand what this
I never say you're always happy when
young
they-
man is saying.
You're always happy
well,
when they come
I just come to do the job, and we leave
what sort of job?
the job. Yeah.
Well, let's just blow ourselves off and say we've been great having a good time with you. Big thanks to our producer. He's also been great to put together all the stories, and our resource people. I'm Femi. Have yourself a great time. We'll catch you later on. We've got more right here. Sports in 60 minutes.